Ed Easton Jr. from USA Today's Touchdown Wire. Just happy to speak with you, man. This is definitely an honor. We'll just jump right into it. Just tell us about your partnership with Boehringer and Lilly's It Takes Two initiative. And you're actually going to be in the Rose Bowl parade as part of the group. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, man. First of all, I'm excited about that. All those years of watching the Rose Parade, and here I am going to be participating on one of the floats to be driving around, waving at people. They probably won't know who I am, but hopefully some of them will. But the bigger initiative is the fun thing about it. It takes two initiative, and knowing that also Rob bases his song "It Takes Two" from back in the day. So you know what I'm talking about. And if you go to testyourkidneys.com, you'll see the rendition that he came up with to kind of rewrite the lyrics. But the initiative itself is why it's important for me because one of the things that I've had to do as an athlete is be extremely proactive with my health. I'm very proactive when it comes to my health. On the field, yes, also, but also off the field with my health. And so once I heard about some of the things and that would put you in the scope of potentially having chronic kidney disease, is type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. And my parents both have type 2 diabetes. And my father kind of is really up and down when it comes to his high blood pressure. My mom is under control for the time being. And so with that being said, that means that they fit the demographic of potentially having that. So once I found that information out, I sent that information to them, their caregivers, to make sure they got the test. And then it's also for my friends and family that they fall into that category. And so also now from this platform, I'm blessed to then be able to speak to people because even in retirement, one of the main things in retirement that I talk about is taking care of your body, taking care of your health, being proactive. And so now if I can use the platform that I'm blessed to have now to just talk about these tests, you and your doctor coming together to get the test, it takes you and your doctor and then two tests, a blood and a urine test to make sure you don't have kidney disease or you're not going on that path to have it is extremely important because ultimately we want everybody to be here healthier longer, right?
Yes. No, I definitely agree with you on that. I do want to, jump into a little bit of your football career, if you don't mind. I want to ask about, in my opinion, one of the best nicknames in sports, Weapon X, and just the origin of that.
Yeah. So Weapon X, what Weapon X is a part of me that has always been a part of me, even since Little League. Like I've been that, I was that type of player growing up that was extremely emotional, would cry after losses. You don't want to shake people's hands and all of that type of stuff. That has always been a part of me, that extra going harder, trying to outwork everybody around me. Like that's always been a part of me. But oftentimes it was from a place of anger. Like I used a lot anger in a lot of aspects when it comes to that. But as I got older, got more, not older, I got more seasoned, got wiser of how to utilize that. I recognized that I can use it as passion. That also became, because of my walk with Christ, I understand I can use that same energy as passion, right? And so I began to use that as passion because I knew I could use it that way as a professional in the National Football League. And so the first rendition that I named, because I didn't name that part of me, like wow, and not everybody names the other part of them, or not everybody know they had another have a other part of them. But I named them, and so the first name that I gave that individual was Idiot Man. So I called myself Idiot Man the first
Okay.
couple of years in the National Football League. So Idiot Man became Weapon X, right? I changed the name to Weapon X. And long story, I'm going to go through all the details of the story of how it happened. But I just changed it to Weapon X. Why? Because love Wolverine, love his tenacity, how he takes care of him, takes care of his family, sometimes to his detriment, that he would hurt himself to take care of family. So it's a deeper dive into the character, not just the peripheral, him having claws and all that stuff. All that is beautiful, but it's really the character of him, of his love for his family that really drawed me into him. And then allowing that part of me to come out on game day. Like that's a part of me forever. Like that part of me is still in me. I allow that part of me to come out when I work out now. So let them come out and play every once in a while.
Nice, nice. I was just gonna say because that's so all that energy just doesn't go away. So I definitely can understand that. And I do want to ask though because you were known as such a big hitter when you played. Everyone knows like When you play against the Eagles, especially, you don't want to go down the middle. You don't want to see Brian Dawkins. That's what always was the talk. So I guess my question is, with today's NFL, where there's so many of these different regulations now with tackling and how it has to be done a certain way, so you're seeing less big hits. Are you a fan of that personally, knowing how you played the game and how you went about business?
Well, here's the thing about it. If everyone in the National Football League all of a sudden no longer gave big hits, then that would be a huge issue. And then you can say that the rules have completely changed the game and there's no more contact and all of those things. I don't see it like that. I see certain guys, certain teams still bringing that, I call it unadulterated stank. Like it's still putting that stank on folk, right? And they're not getting flagged for it. So it can be done. You just have to change the way that you do things, change your angle, change to make sure you lead more with your shoulder than your head. All of those things, you still can be aggressive. You still can put that stank down without getting fined, without getting penalized. So for me, I'm talking about being a professional. You have to be a professional at your job. If they all of a sudden, whatever it is that you do in your life, as a profession. If they told you that you have to begin to do things a little bit different in specific areas and it's hard and it's tough, would you find a way to do it? Yes, right? Same thing in football. I would find a way to do it. I'm still going to get fined. It is what it is. I'm going to get fined, but I'm going to adjust so I won't get as many fines as I would if I did not adjust. Or and be on the field to help my team and not get kicked out of games.
Not just you, but your team when you had with the Eagles, especially in the early 2000s, going to multiple NFC championship games, winning the one in '04. What was the mindset of that team, just the resiliency to come back every season to try to get to that goal of reaching the Super Bowl? Like, what kept you guys motivated?
Well, I mean, it's first of all, I would say, an accountability. Accountability towards one another, towards yourself. Self accountability goes a long way, but then others' accountability takes you to the next level. When you have that in the building, and we had that in the building, we love one another, we trusted one another, and we trusted everyone to do what they're supposed to do, so that we can make runs year after year after year. We had coaches in that knew how to help us, reach those things, reach those plateaus, if you will. And he did a great job on the offense. Jim Johnson leading on the defense, obviously, for all of those years. But we had quality position coaches, right? Those individuals, again, that were assigned to help bring out the best in all of us. But again, if you don't have accountability, you got nothing, right? So accountability goes a long way. Accountability then allows the discipline of the team to rise up. When you have a disciplined team, you don't make mistakes on the field. You don't make mental mistakes or physical mistakes on the field. You take proper angles. You do all of the small things, and then the small things help you have big victories. So ultimately, that's what we were year after year after year after year. And again, you got to give Andy and Jim and those coaches a lot of respect for that, props for that. But ultimately, once again, some of that also came from in the house. Like we police one another as players.
We hear a lot of that, and I do a lot of coverage with the Kansas City Chiefs as well. And you hear a lot of that now with their team and the culture that Andy Reid has built. I'm just curious, what are your thoughts on what he's done, finally winning those Super Bowl titles in Kansas City?
Well, so what you're seeing in Kansas City, I thought was going to be in Philadelphia. I thought it would be Andy still coaching here, and once Jim moved on, however that was going to be, I didn't think it was going to be because we lost him to cancer. But I thought he would move on, and then Spags will step into his space. But Spags got an opportunity to go to the Giants, and the rest is history. He's been doing his thing now at Kansas City all these many years later. But first of all, I'm proud of them of sticking to it, of staying in there. If Danny's went through some tough times in Philadelphia and all the things that um, had him then leave and stop coaching for a while and collected himself, and then he's come back better. Like he's come back more understanding on how to do different things better. So you can see the evolution of both of them of how they call games and all of those things. And because of that, I believe that that's one of the reasons that team is in position to win every year because they both have seen so much. There's only so much you can throw at an offense defensively as far as blitzes are concerned, disguises, and there's only so much you can do on the offensive side of the ball that they have not seen. And they I believe have the counters for a lot of the things that are thrown their way. And then they have capable talent, the players that more than likely, I would tell you, police the locker room themselves, and they don't have to be told a whole bunch of things when it comes to that. And then they go out and perform at a very high level, high level.
And one of the things that was remarkable about your career, you played 16 seasons in the NFL, especially you're not a quarterback, you're not a kicker, and you're a position guy, you're physical every play. Was it tough because you played 13 in Philly? Was it tough to make that change and go to Denver at the end of your career?
Absolutely, it was tough. Like Philly was home, Jack. Like that was I never saw myself playing anywhere else. Like I thought that I was going to retire in Philadelphia, and it was my desire to play 2 more years and then retire. Like I would have played 15 instead of 16, but that wasn't the plan. The plan was for me to play 16. I didn't know that was the plan, but that was the plan for me to play 16. But it was also the plan for me to go to Denver to discover more of me because there's more of me that was needed in Denver than in Philadelphia, to be honest with you. So I had to adapt and do things that I was not doing in Philadelphia from a leadership standpoint. Something as simple as Bible study. I was teaching Bible study in Denver, right? So there's certain things I had to do in Denver that I recognize now that I can do that I would not have done in Philadelphia because I knew, like everybody. I know how to get to work blindfold, right? So at least everything in Philadelphia. Not everything, never know everything. I know a lot of things in Philadelphia, but in Denver, again, I had to develop and it introduced me to parts of me I did not know existed. So it was a hurtful, painful, right? But at the same time, it blessed me tremendously to introduce me to a part of me that I didn't know existed, to parts of me that I didn't know existed.
I hear you on that. And my final question is because you were talking about so much growth that you went through during that process. Is there any advice you would have for the young players that are coming up? Obviously, this is bowl season. College football is coming to an end. A lot of guys are going to be looking towards the NFL. Is there any advice for them that you would have told a younger version of yourself in that same situation?
Yeah. One of the things that I learned going from Denver, excuse me, to Philadelphia to Denver is how to approach the next version of what you're going to become, how to approach, how to go after it. And what I mean by that is oftentimes we hear people and we actually do, because I did it for a long period of time in my life, is you go and you do things to prove people wrong. I'm gonna prove that person wrong. I'm gonna prove that, and you use it as fuel, and it's actually can be productive. You can use it as fuel to go out and perform at a high level, to do more than you probably would do if that not that person saying what they said. That's actually a great energy source. But what I developed is a mindset of no, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna prove myself right. I'm gonna prove myself right. I'm gonna use that what you just said to fuel my workouts. Yeah, I'm still use that as fuel, put it on my log for fire. But I'm gonna prove me right. So you no longer have the power over me. I don't have to go to prove. It's not about you no more. It's about completely about me and what I'm about to do. So when you have that again, that mindset, it's all about you. It's about nobody else. It's all about you. So I would say that. The other thing is, and I didn't say it probably in this conversation with you, but I love because I was one of those individuals. I love a pullback person, someone you have to tell to slow down, not speed up. So your coach should not have to tell you to give more. Your coach should not have to tell you to finish. Your coach should not have to tell you to do anything other than help you slow down so that you can correct your steps, so you can correct your angle, right? You should be full out, full speed in everything that you do until the coach tells you to slow down. You don't tell yourself to slow down. You go max, you go full speed. So that's what I would tell them to do. Those two things, you use those two formulas, I believe you'll be a success in what you do.
Amazing. Brian, thank you again so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you at the parade and just everything that you're doing with this initiative, man. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. God bless you.